How do you make a Raspberry Pi? Well, this factory at Pencoed in South Wales has made 1 million of them now, and Gareth Jones is going to teach us how to bake a Raspberry Pi. Gareth, take us away.
Thank you very much. So the first part is we'll deposit the solder paste onto the bare board. We'll do that using a 100 micron screen to very, very high accuracy. We'll deposit the exact right amount of paste and exactly the right amount so that we know that we have a reliable solder joint as the board goes through the rest of the process. Then we'll move on to mounting the chip components themselves. So after we've deposited the paste, which is a viscous paste, this machine will actually pick up the chip components down to as small as 1mm by 0.5mm. It will pick them up by means of a vacuum and position them onto the printed circuit board, again with very high accuracy, and actually blowing it onto the circuit board in the right position automatically as we gradually build up the population of the components on the printed circuit board. And this line will mount around about 400,000 components a day. The Raspberry Pi contains quite a clever little technical build requirement called package on package. This is where we mount the main processor onto the printed circuit board, and then we mount the memory device directly on top of that.
This is a key part of the process.
Absolutely.
The most important part, really.
Absolutely key part, and one which we had to invest a certain amount of time, effort and expense to make sure that we got this part of the process perfect, because the alignment between the two parts is very critical, and without that alignment being correct, then obviously the device will not work successfully. So by the time we get to this part of the process, you'll see that all
six of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 pies we built on a panel. Obviously we populated on both sides of the printed circuit board, as you can see there.
And now for the first time we're going to get humans actually doing stuff.
Exactly. And now the last remaining few larger components will be placed by our staff by hand. The boards are placed in this carrier which protects the underside of the board from the wave solder which the panels are just about to pass through.
And actually here's the first time we see them one by one.
That's right. So we've separated each pie out from the panel of 6, and this final part of the process is where we will electrically test the Raspberry Pi. We'll inject a number of input signals into the board, and we're looking obviously for the right responses. So this simulates a full functional test.
So here we've got the finished product. Let's just have a quick look at it. There it is. Complicated process, but you've got to make it really cheap to do because it's a cheap computer. So that's the finished Raspberry Pi. That's the baking process. One thing, don't try this at home.